Hey guys, Mr. Milton here. Today we're going to talk about lines in a coordinate plane. At the end of the video, you should be able to write the equation of lines from a variety of information, and you should be able to graph lines. This is a little bit of an algebra review. We've done this a lot in algebra. This might have been your least favorite or favorite chapter in algebra, I don't know. But since we're talking about lines a lot, parallel and all those intersecting lines in space, we will talk about them on a coordinate plane as well. Alright, so there are three forms of linear equations that you should know. Slope-intercept form, and that is y equals mx plus b. Point slope form, and that is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And standard form, that is ax plus by equals c. All this should be reviewed to you. Alright, remember that m stands for slope, b is the y-intercept. Okay, again, m is slope. x1 and y1 are from the coordinates of the point that we use. A, B, and C don't stand for anything specific, but they are coefficients that make the standard form work. Okay. Alright, so first things first, slope-intercept form is probably the most remembered and easiest to work with equation types. And so if we can put an equation in slope-intercept form, we'll probably be alright. And all that means to us is we need to get y by itself. So this says transform each of the following into slope-intercept form. Another way of saying solve for y. In order to do that, subtract 5x from both sides. Here we'll have, I'm going to move it up here so I can have space, equals negative 5x plus 18. And then I'll divide by 2. Sometimes you just leave it like this, but when you're graphing, it's important to make sure you leave your answers as fractions, but you separate it so you can see what your slope and your y-intercept are. Okay, in this case, our slope would be negative 5 halves. Our y-intercept would be 9. Okay, again, we're just solving for y, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. I'll move it over here so I can have more space. Negative 3y equals negative x minus 15. Then I'll divide by negative 3. Y will equal 1/3 x plus 5. Okay. Alright, and that's putting it into slope-intercept form. Alright, one of the tasks that you'll be asked to do is to write the equation of a line given 2 points. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can do this, so follow along and make sure you keep up. Alright, in order to write an equation through a line, we're going to need the slope. Okay, so that's the first thing that we'll do. We'll find slope. Remember that you find the slope by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so I'll do that first. 10 minus 7 over 2 minus 3. And that will give me 3 over negative 1, or just negative 3. Alright, this first way deals with just using slope-intercept form. And for slope-intercept form, that is y equals mx plus b. Alright, it's important to remember that all these forms work because it makes the math work. Every point that fits into the line makes the equation work. And so I know that my slope is negative 3. I'm going to use that here, negative 3. And they give me 2 points. So I'm going to choose one of the points. I'm just going to choose 3 and 7. I'm going to choose one of the points. I'm going to plug them in for x and y. So for this, y is 7 and x is 3 plus b. I don't know what my y-intercept is. And I'm just going to solve for my y-intercept. 7 equals negative 9 plus b. B, not 6. Okay, add 9 to both sides. And I get 16. I get that b is 16. And now I have all the information that I need to solve this problem, to write the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. I have my y-intercept, and I have my slope. So y equals m, which is negative 3, x plus 16. Alright, that's one way that you can write the equation of a line that goes through 2 points. The other way that you can do it is you can use point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. And after you use point-slope form, you can change it into slope-intercept form. Alright, but the first things first, we still need to find the slope. y2, 9, minus y1, 6, over x2, 2, minus x1. So minus negative 4 will give us plus 4. So 9 minus 6 is 3, 2 plus 4 is 6, and that is 1/2. So I know my slope is 1/2. Okay. Alright, and now I have to use that to find out my other information. So I'm going to use this slope, and I'm also going to use one of the points. I will choose the point 2, 9. So I have y minus y1, in this case that's 9, equals m, which is 1/2, x minus x1, which is 2. Okay, so just plugged in the information that I have from the points and the slope that I just found. And then I'm going to solve for y. I got to try to get y by itself, which isn't too difficult because it's almost there right now. So I'll distribute 1/2. I get 1/2 x minus 1. And then I have to add 9 to both sides. So my final answer should be y equals 1/2 x plus 8. Negative 1 plus 9 is 8. Okay, so there are two ways to do it. You can either use slope-intercept form or you can use point-slope form. It's fine, either way. Alright. Let's talk about horizontal lines. Horizontal lines all have a slope of 0, and they start with y equals. Vertical lines have an undefined slope, undefined, and they start with x equals. Alright, and so here is an example. It says, write the equation of a horizontal and vertical lines that go through the point -7, 2. Okay, so if we look at this, and I'll just try to quick sketch this, -7, 2 right here. Okay, if we have a horizontal line that goes through this point, horizontal, horizon, side to side, okay, then what we'll see is that something stays the same at every point. Y is the same at every point. So what's y? Y is 2. Everywhere that y is 2, our line will be there. If we have a vertical line through the point -7, 2, it'll be here. What stays the same through every point? X. At every point, x will be -7. Or horizontal, vertexal. I don't know if that helps, but hopefully it does. Alright, in the back side, we're graphing. They give us a few different methods, or a few different forms, but remember, this is how you do it. This is slope-intercept form. In slope-intercept form, we always start with the y-intercept. It's 2. It'll always be on the y-axis, up and down. Okay, and then our slope 1/3, that's rise over run. It tells me to go up 1 and right 3. Up 1, right 3. And that should be enough for me to be able to graph it. Have my contractor handy. Straight line through it. Alright, and that's my graph. That's my line. Okay, second problem, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as our y-intercept, and my slope is -2. So that means I'll make this a fraction, and this is telling me go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Alright, that's enough for me to draw my line through these things. Drawing lines. Got it. Graphed. Alright. Scoop this up. Alright. So this one we have y equals 3/4 x. It looks like we don't have a y-intercept drawn or written, but remember that if it's not, it's because it's a number that we don't have to write. It's plus 0. Like, we don't need to write plus 0. It doesn't change anything. But nice to remember that that's 0, because that's where we're starting. It says rise 3, 1, 2, 3, run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have enough space to do that again, and I want to, so I'm going to do it the opposite way. I could go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, goes in a straight line. If you run out of space, you might have to go the opposite direction. Okay, remember, negative divided by a negative is a positive, so it still ends up being positive. Number 4, x equals 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little bit different, but remember that x equals is our vertical lines, and if it doesn't help you out, then you just put a spot or dot every time that x equals 4. You'll notice that you'll get a vertical line. Okay, x equals 4. There we go. There's our line. All right. For number 5, it's a little bit more than just graphing it. I would recommend that you put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, we already solved for slope-intercept form earlier. It just means get y by itself. So I'm going to solve to get y by itself. My first things first, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Move it up here so I have some more space. Then I'm going to divide by 2. So I have y equals negative 3/2 x plus 2. Alright, up 2, that's my y-intercept, so I'm going to start there. Then it says negative 3/2 down 1, 2, 3 over 2. Down 1, 2, 3 over 2. Alright, that's enough for me to draw my line. Draw in a line. Uh-oh. Alright, hopefully that stays. There we go. Okay. Alright. And then 6, this is in point slope form. Again, I would recommend that you put it in slope intercept form. So the form that we're most familiar with. I'm going to move it up here to do that. Y plus 5, I'm going to distribute negative 2/3 x plus 6 divided by 3, which will be 2. Okay, then I'm going to move y by itself, so y equals negative 2/3 x minus 3. And there we go. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, and then we go down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, or we could go up 2 and left 3. 1, 2, 3. Up 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And there's our line. Okay, so a little review of algebra here. All the things that you love doing before you got to this class. Get to do the best stuff again. Alright. You should hopefully have refamiliarized yourself with slope-intercept form, point-slope form, standard form a little bit. Also changing, finding slope and changing between the different forms. Alright, see ya.